Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to add lights. Now as you can see here, I have my sculpture completed. If I open up the outliner, you'll see that I've actually grouped that together. And then below that I have all the objects, primitives that comprise of that sculpture. I've grouped my wall, floor, and table together as well so that I could easily add the color and material. But as you can see here, I have my default lighting. I'm going to go ahead and collapse that outliner. And if I turn on the lights right now by going to lighting and use all lights, you'll see that it's completely dark. So I haven't added any lights yet. If I use default lighting, you'll see that that kind of gives me a better view of what I can see there. But of course, I don't have any lights. So if I render this out now, you'll see it comes out completely dark. So I can show you really quick. It's going to be black, no lights. Of course, I'm in Arnold rendering. Let's go back to Maya software. And now you can see it, but I don't have any shadows, cast shadows, or anything like that. So it does show the default lighting, but it doesn't show any of the cast shadows that really would make this composition truly finished. Okay, so let's start adding lights. I'm going to go up to Create, Lights, and I'll start by putting in a spotlight. I'm going to click on the little square to the right there just to make sure that the cast shadows is selected. I can work with the intensity here as well, so if I want it less intense or more intense, I can up that here or lower it. So maybe do half. Start out with a 0.5 light here, and I'll hit Create. And next what I'm going to do is hit my W on the keyboard so that I can move that light around a little bit. Now you see that I really don't see what the effect of that light is until I turn on my light by either clicking on this little light bulb icon or going to Light and Use All Lights. Now you can see that that's adding some lights to that right there. I'm going to hit the space bar really quick, just kind of tap it, and you can see that this is my top view, this is my wall here, and I can start kind of moving that around a little bit. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a Command or Control D so that I can duplicate that light. I'm just going to pull that out. I'm going to rotate that around by hitting my E key on my keyboard, and then just start positioning those lights on my scene or in my scene. I'm going to go back to my perspective window. Now right here in your perspective view, which is always located on the right hand side, upper right hand side, I can turn on cast shadows right next to the little icon for light bulbs. Those are really small. For use all lights, I can click on the shadows icon, and you can see there that now I've got some shadows there. I'm going to hit my, I always say hit, but tap on my space bar to bring me back into this scene here. And then I'm going to zoom my camera out here, my middle scroll button. And I'm going to add yet another light. It's going to soften those shadows. You see how strong and dark they are. I want to add a little bit of bounce lights in there. So the way to do that is I'm going to add a point light. Okay, I'm going to hit my W really quick so that I can lift that. And you can see that it's behind my sculpt there, but you can see how it's softening up the shadows there in the back. Right here, pull it out a little bit more, maybe lift it up a little bit. And Now I've got this really dark cast shadow here, so I want to add maybe a little bit of a nice light there so that I can, maybe an area light, pull that out, lift it up a little bit, and begin rotating that around a little bit. Again, it's really your composition, so you can place your lights however you'd like, but try to soften these lights up, or the cast shadows up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and click on my views here, and you could always reach those by clicking on the side over here. So if I click on the top navigation or panel layout here, and then click here, it'll bring me into my 4 little quadrants there. And then that will allow me to move things around a little bit more. I'm going to rotate this. And there you go. I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to bring it up above my sculpture a little bit. And then I'm going to rotate that. So again, you can see how that's adding a new dynamic over here on this side. And I could always soften that up. Again, I could always increase the intensity of a light by going to the attribute editor. If that's not open for you, go up above where it says workspace. Right below there you have some icons. Click on the third icon. That'll collapse or open up your attribute editor. And whatever you have selected will come up. Right now I have that spotlight selected, so what I can do is I can increase that intensity that I had initially decreased, but I'll go ahead and up that. Maybe to 1.5. And then I'll move that up a little bit. I'm going to zoom out. And I can always increase it a little bit more. Okay. There we go. I'm going to select this back light that I have here. Actually, the top light is what I have too much intensity on, so I'm going to bring that down a little bit to 1. And while you're in here, you can go down into shadows, and on your resolution, make sure that you bump that up a little bit, and that'll get rid of some of that pixelation that's happening on the cast shadows themselves. So I'm going to do that to all my lights. Now another way to do that is to go into your outliner and one at a time select your lights. Go into shadows in your attribute editor and bump that up. So I'm going to go through all of these one in a row here that are showing and do the same. Bump that up in your depth match shadow attributes. Bump it up to 1,000. And as you do that, you can see that some of these pixelated cast shadows and bounce shadows are going to get rid of some of the anti-aliasing that's happening. A little bit there. And then this area light, our last one that I've done. Okay. All right. So that's how you add lights. And then find a good composition for that. So So hopefully this video helps, and thank you for your patience on me getting this done. If you have any more questions, just let me know, and I will either create a video for you and or get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.